this is from the Spear of Pickleball, and this is
Nice.
why I sponsored the tournament. So that's how they
That's
knew.
great.
Yeah.
And
And
it's so funny too, like, when you prep for a listing, you go in the appointment, whatever, and maybe you don't get it, but being in that environment and doing those things,
mhm,
it just naturally attracts other business. It's so weird.
yeah. And I'm going to help them buy a home. So that's the stipulation. I have to help them buy the home if they're going to sell theirs.
Those are the best ones.
Yeah. hmm
If there's a way to specialize in sell bys, I would do it.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
Good morning.
Good
Morning, Dan.
morning.
Just Jim and Audrey having a conversation this morning.
Morning.
It's okay though. We love this. We love this.
Morning.
Let's hear some good news. What are some wins, some celebrations, something you're just dang proud of?
I got a
Audrey's
new
got something.
I was just telling Jim, I
We all
got a
heard it.
listing.
Yeah, we were all on. We were listening to you.
Yeah.
Good
Mhm.
job with getting a new listing.
Yeah, and hopefully it has to turn into a sale
It's
actually.
going to, yeah. It'll turn into another deal. That's good. Next.
This week has been pretty cool. I've got a listing, I've got a buyer, and my daughter and I went to the gym for the first time in like 10 years last night. So
Congrats.
we got that going.
Nice.
I think
I
that's
got a new buyer and possibly a new seller. Um, and then possibly another new seller. So it's all in the family.
hey, things are working. I like
Yeah.
it. You got things moving. My chair got short.
I was under 180 pounds this morning.
Heck yeah.
Mhm.
Just a few more to go, huh?
A few more.
I think I'm pretty close in convincing Jim to buy Forgis.
Okay. What's holding you back, Jim?
I haven't done my homework yet.
Okay. When can we expect your response?
I don't know. Probably today.
Probably.
I just gotta crunch numbers. The numbers that Lydia sent over from the previous owner look really good.
Well, that's a fantastic opportunity if you got the funding for it.
Mhm.
Good morning, Gracie. Good morning, Mikey. Good morning, Audrey. Good morning, Joanne. Good morning, Rachel. Good morning, Anthony. Good morning, Alexa. Good morning, Julie. Good morning, Mara. Good morning, Jess. Good morning, Serena. Good morning, Lydia. Good morning, Jim. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning.
It's Friday. Friday. Let's hear some win celebrations, something you're working on. Let's take today and make it feral.
I've
Okay.
uh, I've got a win that it's not really my win, but it's a client's win. Um, so back at the end of last year, had a friend that was looking. I actually was the listing agent for the house that he bought, but he used another agent. After we got all said and done, he wanted to find some property. Looking in another area out in Picture Rocks, he was just trying to find a kind of a place to park his money and also be like his first time purchasing land to build something that would be kind of an investment for him. Problem I saw with it was that it was not, it wasn't going to be forever and long term. And I kind of felt like it was going to be a lot of money for the lack of benefit, I guess you could say. So we got done looking at a couple properties. We actually put in offer on one, but he had mentioned the area he liked, which is a Silver Bell corridor between a couple roads here in Tucson. That's pretty sought after. So I went to looking and I found this parcel that was 3.99 acres. We were able to negotiate a seller finance deal. They were asking 235. I believe we got it for 225. And it was perfect for him because that's where they wanted to basically build their forever home, family compound, everything like that. So fast forward about 3 months. And the thing was, is that particular area, looking at the homes around it, even if he put in a nice home, he would be closer to that $1 million mark. by building it out. So it was like, all right, cool, you know. Whereas where he was looking prior, he'd be lucky to get like four, maybe 500, depending on what he built. But it's kind of like putting the pretty house in the worst neighborhood type of deal. So it just wasn't a fit. About a week or two ago, he sent me this. I just put it in the chat. This is the appraisal of the land with a concrete slab on it. 900,000. That's
Jesus.
a home on it yet.
Mhm.
There you go.
And the home he's building is going to be a monster with a monster, 4 or 5 car garage. The garage is probably going to be about the same size as the home. So,
Why is he going to have such a small garage?
right? so, so it goes back to, buy dirt, buy real estate and wait type of stuff. So I don't know. I thought it was an awesome win for him because he was excited to share that with me. So.
Yeah. I have a question. With the new build and getting a claims history, how does that work?
You don't get claims history on a new build.
Okay.
You're
Even
on
if
the wrong checklist.
okay. Okay, if it's 3 years old, same thing?
Then it's not a new build.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so it's 3 years old, so I can get a claims history.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wondering.
All right. Any other thoughts, comments, questions? Let's jump into something. What do you want to work on today?
I have a question.
What's got Jess?
So today I'm showing potentially 2 clients. It's a mother and a daughter that want to move out here to California.
Yep.
A new build. And I got like information on like the area and all of that stuff. So I'm like wondering like what should I have like to prepare myself? I don't know. I feel like with a new build, it's like, yeah, I can't get like reports on all that on the home, especially if they're starting from like dirt.
Yeah. Who's done new builds and what have you done to set your buyers up for success? I can't be
The
the only
first
one.
thing is probably when you walk in is to instruct them if they like it. That's fantastic because a lot of the times the salespeople follow you around. So I would just tell them, let's have this conversation outside or in the car when it's just us. And then also, I don't know if anybody else does it, but Amanda has a really cool verbiage to add to all contracts and make sure that they know that you are involved in the transaction and to keep you, they don't do it, but at least say to keep communicating with you through it all. And I don't know, am I telling her wrong, you guys? Is there anything else?
So
No, I agree with that.
yeah.
I stay looped in the whole way through with my reps, but I have good communication or good relationships with the builder reps. Like I keep in touch with them even when I don't have a deal because I want to foster that relationship. And like Lydia said, there is some language that I learned from Amanda at the very beginning to add to the contract. And the builders will push back and say they can't add that. And I'm like, but you can. And we'd like to see that in there. And it just basically protects the buyer's rights to have the full amount of whatever their incentive offers are applied to the buyer's costs, because they might say that, oh, we offered 5,000 up front to our closing costs, but we could only apply 4,000. Well, that's not true. You can prepay more HOA dues or
HOA dues, yeah,
other,
exactly.
like insurance, more insurance premium. So a lot of ways they can do it.
And Amanda also says that when you walk into these new constructions, if it's something that they're offering 10,000, ask for 20. Just to have them negotiate down.
I've
Always
even
ask
had
for
them
double
tell
than
you-
what you're asking for.
I've even had them tell the client that they can have a credit or they can have their agent commission, but they can't have both. Well, at the end of the day, we get both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these guys here are pretty upfront about what the incentives are for buyer's reps, but definitely find that out, because I know Lennar for a while was doing a flat fee, and at one of the price points that I had, it would have been 1.8%. So just make sure you're having that conversation with your buyers about the value of the buyer broker, and that you're going to negotiate obviously to get as much of that and other costs covered, But at the end of the day, just make sure they're aware of that so that they know that that difference, if the builder's not paying it, you know, is on them as part of their closing costs. And always, 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 always do a home inspection, even on a new build.
Always.
You get your own home inspection, right? Your own.
Yes. Yep. I still do a general home inspection. I don't do a termite normally because they've got a certificate of having just recently done that usually. But sewer scope for sure. Check on the roof situation because you don't want to void any warranties. Sometimes the inspectors will have pole cameras and they can kind of look at it that way so you can see if there's any slip tiles or anything that needs to get fixed.
Yeah, great point mentioning the inspections, Christina. One thing I also do is kind of outside the box is I recommend they do the inspection after 6 months. That way, you know, little things that kind of happen or, you know, start wearing and tearing a little bit, that it's still under warranty for that 12 months, that 6 months mark, they can go through and show them that inspection and have to take care of all those things under the warranty.
Yeah, I always do the upfront inspection for sure. Like once you go under contract, and just know the timelines because the builders use their own contracts and they are super long and a little bit ridiculous, but I do recommend going through and reading them just so you are familiar with what the builder contract looks like. Definitely do the the inspection before you close, and then, you know, obviously have them fix any of that stuff that comes up. And then, like Jim said, I want to say most of them here, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, it's either like a 15-day or a 30-day, like post move-in kind of a check-in that the builder does, where they'll come back around and they'll say, you know, okay, you've been in here a couple weeks. Is there anything that we need to come back around and fix? Like they're not going to do scuffs in the wall from moving, but if there's anything like that you've discovered that isn't functioning properly, like this toilet doesn't flush right or whatever, then they'll come back in and fix that. And then they do have the opportunities to come in at the 6-month mark and at the 1-year mark to relook at the things that are covered under warranty before those expire.
Man, your guys' home builders are nice.
Well, like I said, I like to have good relationships with the sales reps, but also with what's the name, like their job title, like the construction manager. Like sometimes I'll have their cell phones at a few different sites and chat with them and be nice to them.
Yeah, a box of donuts goes a long way.
I love all this. It's fantastic. It's showing boots on the ground information for new builds, and it goes across all states and counties. Just have the conversation. As a buyer's agent, I would go to the new build community prior to your buyer ever getting there. Meet them there. Hey, I'll meet you there at 2 o'clock. You need to be there at 1 o'clock. Talking to the site rep, getting some information, making a relationship if you don't already have one. Get an idea of the floor plans and the idea of what your buyers are looking for so you can be a little bit more educated. Talk about the current incentives. Talk about what they're doing. Talk about the last deal that just got put under contract. They're going to tell you, well, I got 4 or 5 buyers that are interested in this property, blah, blah, blah. If your buyers are interested, they're going to have to move now. The ladies and gentlemen that are there at the builder are not there to protect the buyer. So they're going to create urgency. They're going to say stuff like, oh, this one's not going to last. Oh, this has a few buyers on it. All in attempts to get your buyers to lock down a decision right then and there. And some of them are really good at it. So just know, the more you know, the better you can protect your buyers. So new build, fantastic.
I love the new builds. Yeah, but like Dan said, go check out the different floor plans that they're offering, and they'll all have a site map in the main office, like the showing office, where you can see the different lots and like what's already been sold, what's available, and it should tell you. And if it doesn't on the map, you can ask which floor plan is already approved for which lot, because they can't just put any floor plan on any lot. They've already, predetermined which one's going where. That way, if they really like a particular floor plan, but maybe the one that's ready to go isn't the best view, then you can talk to them and find out where else are you going to have this floor plan so we could go stand in the site and check out what that view looks like if they're able and willing to wait for one that's not ready to go right now. You're muted, Jess.
She's thinking.
I'm just yelling at my son in the background.
Oh.
So a lot of great opportunity in new builds. There's tons of builders out there that are giving away great incentives where you can buy a house that might be a little bit above what your buyers are looking for on the resale market. If they're qualified at the $400,000, you might be able to get a new build for $450,000 because they're buying down the rates. You have a permanent fixed rate, which is much lower than the market rate, which makes their monthly payment the same. So, caveat to that, most times new builds will force you to use their lender. You can fight back on that too. But you usually don't get the rate. Oh, you want this $10,000 in closing credits? You got to use our lender. No, I don't. But like I said, they are very good at protecting the builder. They're going to tell you, oh, we can't do that. Oh, we can't do that. Oh, we can't do that. Be an advocate for your buyer. Yes, you can. Find a way to do it. And then things will happen because these are big investment firms. They don't want these houses sitting on the books that long. Good conversation, Jessica. Bringing the fire this morning.
Yeah, thanks. I have a good relationship with most builders, the reps, because of Christina. She introduced me to all of them, so I've been keeping in contact with them. So yeah.
Yeah, they're going to treat you like your best friend, so treat them like your best friend. Have fun. Box of donuts goes a long way. Donuts and some high fives, my friends. Any other thoughts on new builds? How to working with the buyer?
How do you prepare your buyer because usually the tax estimate they give you is just for the land and not for the actual house?
That's a great conversation to have with whoever's going to be their lender, if they're talking about that. Understanding now your payment now is assessed on the lower tax amount. Has the lender talked to you about what it's going to look like when year 2 and 3 roll around and the taxes go from $800 to $3,000? Yeah, that's kind of a shock to some people that I'm going from $70 a month in taxes to $250 a month in taxes. Well, I don't know about you, but $180 a month is a big swing in some people's budget.
I make that kind of part of the conversation if they've got a really good incentive rate, like they're doing a 2-1 buy down or a 3-2-1 buy down, and we're talking about what the payments are going to look like over time. And I do this with the reps. I lean on the sales reps so hard, like I'll be in there in the room, but I'm like, tell us this answer, give us this information, break this down for us. Like I let them do the legwork. So when you talk about what's the payment the first year, then when it, if that interest rate adjusts over time with the buy down agreement, then what is that going to look like and how do taxes factor into this?
That's a good point. Thanks.
I don't think we give you anything but good points, my friends. Now, the rest of you, what are you working on? Because the 6 people that have been talking this whole time are freaking killing it out there in the market. The rest of you, I want to see what else you got going on.
Hey, Dan, I have a buyer who's going to buy a condo, and there's HOA fees, but there's also something that's called the LLC fee. Why are there 2 fees?
LLC fee, like buying a condo and then they have to pay the LLC, which is the condo organization, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and then there's also another fee for HOA.
I'm like, is this a co-op?
I'd say this sounds like a co-op, not an.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm gonna look into that.
Where is it, in Tucson or you're in California?
In Tucson.
What's the address?
I don't have it in front of me, but it's right off of Sunrise and Swan.
Oh, it's not a co-op.
Those are condos.
So why would they?
Yeah, text me the address. Let me look into that because I can't just give you a blanket answer because it's probably just something specific to that community.
Okay.
But you can have an HOA fee and they can have an LLC fee because the HOA fee is the homeowners association. There might be a master plan fee that's part of the LLC fee.
Okay.
Is it Adam LLC?
Adam?
It sounds like it. Yeah, I think so.
Because they have like two communities, like they have the subdivision and the HOA. That happens over on near oh shit, I can't even think of the name of the neighborhood right now, but I just sold one that has basically it's two HOAs. It's one for the community and one for the actual subdivision.
Wow.
Yeah, so you got the community and then the master plan of community.
Yeah.
So it's that's probably what it is you've got the HOA for the way you can look at it is you got one for the neighborhood and you got one for the block.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb, but that's because some communities, like if this area is a gated community, it's nicer than the rest of the entire neighborhood. Might have a POV stuff.
Okay.
I have one. I already have my own opinion on it, but it would be helpful to hear other people's opinions on it. So if you come across an off-market property for your buyer, do you guys think that, you know, if your buyer's already said that they'll pay you compensation, you already have a signed BRBC, do you think that it's best to also get a listing agreement in place with the seller when they aren't represented?
There's a form for that, Gracie. I don't remember off the top of my head what it is, but I'll send it to you.
Yeah, we have, if you had a listing agreement, they would be represented by you, but there's a form for us to unrepresented seller document.
Really? Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
It's if you're working, with a FSBO or something like that doesn't want to have representation, but there's going to be broker documents that support your side of it, that outline what their compensation is that they're going to pay to the buyer side, all of that, Jess.
Okay, I'm going to look that up.
I'm racking my brain trying to figure out what it's called. I don't have my computer in front of me, otherwise I'd find it for you.
Yeah, I'm going on car forms right now. I could probably find it.
Single representation or some kind of, I can't remember.
Sounds like a California issue. Y'all can figure it out. Not generalized. You guys all see Gracie all dolled up this morning? Look at you.
I know, I was gonna say, she looks good.
Thank you. I usually get ready like during this call, so you guys never see me, but thank you.
Most of the people on here, like Greg's putting on his makeup right now too.
I was going to say, there's a lot of faces today, though.
I like to see the faces. I'm actually sad when I don't see faces because for me, it's very difficult to run this call when it's all just like Christina's, just headshots. It's funny. She's the one that said there's
Profile picture.
AI headshots.
AI headshots. AI, except for mine. Don't do mine. No, mine are.
For the love of God, stop doing the action figure AI thing.
Okay, maybe I can't find it. There's like a million forms on here.
Yeah.
If I get one more person reach out to me to say, would you like a caricature portrait? I will punch you right in the face. No, I do not want a caricature portrait of myself.
The only cool character portrait I've seen is Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey's got
That
one.
is a total exception, but that's because it matches with all of Mike's other badass marketing.
No.
I need to give him different clothes though, because I don't wear suits.
No. Drives a shit box, as we know.
Like 3 shit boxes.
So this week has been a big week, guys. I've seen a lot of conversations around marketing, development, lead generation, objection handling. These are the type of weeks that really change your business. It's getting you focused in on the right things and doing the work to get moving for you want to go. In the last 6 minutes here, I want to touch on the next 2 days. The weekend doesn't exist for real estate agents. Because do we work 9 to 5 jobs?
No.
Do we work Monday through Friday? No.
Yeah. And Saturday and Sunday.
And Saturday and Sunday. We work when we need to work. And sometimes we get to take time off in the middle of the week. Sometimes we can take time off in the middle of the day. But when you set intentions for yourself, for your business, and for your success, you're going to follow along in those patterns. So create a calendar for yourself. Today is Friday. Last day you're going to see me because I do not run calls Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You guys don't want all my kids in the background. It's crazy. So what are you doing for the next 2 days to continue the momentum of your growth? This is where I want you to start thinking about how can I take control of my development? And what things do I want to learn? What things do I want to grow on? That can be small chunks. This week has been a big focus on consistency over intensity. Taking 2 days off of a mindset journey doesn't seem like much, but it really is. Every morning, we take 30 minutes of our time to get our minds right, talk about problems, hear other people's issues, where we're developing a sense to help our buyers and sellers better by those around us going through similar situations or going through similar situations that we may one day face. And that's development. And it's small pieces every single day. Some of you have been showing up to this call for a month. Some of you have been showing up for a year. Some of you have been showing up for 5 years. Someone do the math of that. If we're doing 42 to 47 weeks a year, let's call it 47. I don't take a ton of time off. 47 weeks at 2.5 hours a week. It's 117 hours. And if you're Mara and you've been coming here for 5 years, that's nearly 600 hours of development. But I can also tell you, people like Mara, Christina, Mikey, Jim, are taking account to themselves and adding in other things to help build in that momentum. So don't take Saturday and Sunday as an off day. Take it as a free day, something you get to do for yourself. What's something you want to improve on that you can start adding into your schedule for the consistency of it? Lydia, you went to the gym for the first time in 10 years. How sore are you?
I'm pretty damn sore.
Pretty damn
Hell
sore.
yeah, lady. That's awesome.
Thank you.
If we go again tomorrow or today, maybe today, tomorrow, and Sunday, do you feel like you're going to be more sore by Sunday?
Yeah.
Would it surprise you to find out that come Sunday, you'll actually be less sore?
Is it because I worked it out or what?
It's because you have burned through the lactic acid that's in your body. The first day after working out sucks. The second day you work through it, it pushes it out of your body and it sucks even more. The third day, man, it sucks, but not as much. And then the fourth day, you're like, okay, I'm tired, but I feel good. Just like anything we do, it takes a ton of effort to get started. But once you're started, does it take a ton of effort to keep going? So the next 2 days, what do you do to keep going? Think about your personal development alongside your professional development. Because we know, as a society of coaching and mentorship, that people grow professionally at the same level they grow personally, and vice versa. Because you can't control one side of your head without the other being affected. It's not like you're two separate people. You have this entirety of your ecosphere that's going to evolve. So you'd be surprised that when you start adding in some personal development on the weekends, your professional development follows along. That's my rant a little bit for you guys, is keep going on. Consistency over intensity. What are you going to do the next 2 days that's going to help you be a better version of yourself? Ask yourself, what would the better version of me do? Pretty cool stuff. Come Monday, all of us will have been at least 2% better. Because am I looking for overnight change? I'm looking for 1% improvements. Because Mara, if she got 1% better over the last 5 years and every single day, it's 1,500% better. Now you, if you're starting today, if today's day 1 for you, that's fine. Just every day grow 1%. Consistency over intensity. Takes care of itself. Thoughts, comments, questions, concerns before I kick you out of here, before we have ourselves a fantastic Friday?
Can somebody confirm if the form that I found is correct?
That would be a California question. Jim, the seller non-agency agreement. You can also
I
call,
think it is. Yeah, I'll ask Seth.
yeah, call and ask Seth or
That
Jenny.
sounds about right.
I can't help you with the documents there because you guys have 15,000 different documents for the same thing. So good luck to you, California people. This is when bureaucracy gets into real estate, things get chaotic. So thank you for being a part of my schedule, part of my life, part of my tribe. I'm excited to talk to you on Monday to see what else you guys did this week.